What is going on, everybody? It is Nice Pants Lance, and we are back with another ride review video. This time we are riding a Victory Cross Country. It's got the 106 cubic inch V-twin motor in it. It is liquid cooled. This thing is like the ultimate tourer. It's on par with the Harley Davidson Street Glide. It's a it is not a fixed fairing tour bike, so the fairing is connected to the handlebars. It is equipped with a tour pack though. This is the cross-country tour model. They do have a non-tour model that I believe is short a trunk, but this one's decked out to take across the country. The owner's nice enough to let me take this out for a ride. We're just taking it around the block. But this thing is totally set up to do a 1,000-mile trip. It's got like 41 gallons of storage, which I believe is one of the largest storage capacities for any touring bike from the factory, I believe. I don't know if that's 100% sure, but I'm sure someone in the comments will let me know if I'm wrong. Victory was like way ahead of their time. I have a soft spot in my heart for Victory, and that's because they made retro bikes with a lot of horsepower. And as you guys know, that is totally up my alley. So I'm excited to ride this Victory. It's the first Victory I've ever ridden. It's got a 106 cubic inch V-twin in it, and I believe it makes 97 crank horsepower and like 113 foot-pounds of torque. It's a lot of power. That is a lot of power. So we're just gonna swing a leg over this thing. It's got, you know, your sound system. It's got a sound system in the trunk as well. Keys down here. Yep. It's got so much display information up here. I could probably spend 10 minutes describing all the features this bike has. This is a premium tour bike. It's a shame that Victory isn't around anymore. This bike is a stage 1, so it's got intake, exhaust, and it does have a tune. It's got the Victory tune in it, so this is not a bone stock motorcycle. I believe a 106 comes out to around 17 or 1800 cc's, so this is definitely going to be an interesting experience. Ooh. Okay, so already I can tell you that this bike is very smooth for a V-twin. I rode the 103 Softail Slim and the 110 cubic inch Softail Convertible CVO, and those had quite a startup. You could definitely tell when those motorcycles are on. This thing, I love the geometry with this bike. I mean, this bike has all the right angles that I like. It's very sharp, quite literally, geometry wise. It is a sharp motorcycle. The floorboards are sharp. The fairing is sharp. It's triangular. The bags are sharp. The tail lights are sharp. I just love the way it looks. I feel like if a motorcycle like this was still around today, it would be a hot seller. So I am so excited to take this thing out. It's like a 750-pound motorcycle, but because it holds the weight so low, it does not feel like it's a 700-pound motorcycle at all. Okay. Gonna wait for this car. So the seating position, already, the seat really cups my butt. I could definitely see myself taking a long trip on this. Ooh, it's got a little bit of power too. So already I can say this seat, I don't know if it's stock or not, but it has some sort of gel comfort to it. Maybe that's just my imagination, but I will say that compared to the Softail convertible, this bike feels extremely comfortable. Like, I mean, there's comfortable, and then there's like get lost comfortable. This thing, you could probably fall asleep riding it. It's got the gear indicator right on the dash. A little bit of mix of old school and new school. It's got, I believe it's got XM, FM, AM radio on it, so you can definitely enjoy your trip or your cruise on this motorcycle. Wow, man, this is, I will say, this is a nimble motorcycle for being like a fully loaded bagger. This thing is nimble. I mean, just sweeps around these turns. You know, one thing I will say is this feels extremely contained. It's a lot of motorcycle, but at the same time, I feel like it's all right in front of me. Like all the weight and all the mass is just right in front of me. So it feels very easily controllable. I'm definitely not familiar with huge baggers like this, but already I am feeling at home on this Victory Cross Country. Ooh. So this thing sounds great too, and it's got a ton of pull. It blips very well, very intuitive. Damn, okay. You know what? I have to hand it to Victory. For an almost 800-pound bagger, this thing actually gets up and goes. It doesn't feel as, how do I say, violent as the 110 cubic inch Softail convertible, and it sure as hell doesn't feel as high revving and crazy as the VTX 1800. But yet this has like a good amount of power. Dare I say more power than the Softail convertible 103, or sorry, the Softail Slim 103. Alright, nobody's coming. Oh yeah, this thing just glides right around corners. The brakes are really good. This thing has dual disc in the front with ABS. You know I am a fan of that. This thing stops on a dime, it really does. It's very comfortable. It just cups your butt. It's extremely comfortable. You know, the controls are a little more forward than I like them, but that is okay, you know. That's all right. This isn't my bike, and to be honest, when you're taking a long journey, you're going to want to change your position. You're going to want to stretch your legs out. And a lot of guys get highway pegs for their bikes. This bike does not need it. This bike is set up for touring. It really is. The one thing I will say is having these giant body panels on either side of the motorcycle, it psychs me out a little bit. But from what I understand, there's ventilation, there's storage right there. I could see why people go for it. Like, if you want, this bike will keep the air off of your legs, or you could open up the vents and direct the air right onto your legs. So the owner of this motorcycle has actually allowed me to record a 0 to 60 on here. So I am excited about that. So we'll see what this Victory Cross Country 106 can do. Wow. All right. Dude, for a battleship, this thing flies. No lie, this thing flies for a battleship. I'm loving it. It's got a ton of power. Ton of power to this. And for the price you can get these Victory baggers at, it's, you know, it's definitely worth it over buying a Street Glide or finding a used Chieftain or something like that. Victory has always held a special place in my heart because they have some of the coolest retro looking customs in their lineup. I mean, the Highball, the 8-ball, all these different bikes with, you know, crazy color schemes and ape hangers and stuff like that. I love it. They, you know, all the Victories I see look like a custom motorcycle right out of the factory. And I will admit, this thing has more power than the 103 cubic inch Softail Slim, which I guess is a given, seeing how it's got 3 more cubic inches. Oh, this thing sounds great. Like, wow. I am so impressed with this bagger. It's incredible. It's funny, I talk to a lot of people and they're like, oh, you know, yeah, if you're gonna get a bagger, either go Indian or Harley. And it's like, you know what? There's more options than just Indian and Harley. Victory is still around. The company might not be around, but they still support their motorcycles. Oh, wow. Yeah, dude, this thing rocks. This thing rocks. And I would not recommend this to a beginner rider. If you are not used to a bagger, then I would not recommend this. You don't feel the weight, but it is a full-size touring bike. So for that reason, once you get to a slower speed, yeah, you can definitely feel more of the weight. So other than that, it's an excellent ride. I'd recommend this to anybody that like is interested in something similar to a Street Glide, or someone that is looking for a more of a budget touring bike. This is excellent. No lie, I would price this on par with like a Street Glide or a Chieftain all day. I haven't ridden a Chieftain yet. I actually haven't ridden a Street Glide officially, so I would definitely give a double thumbs up for this motorcycle. If you enjoyed my review, please like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. I appreciate every subscription and every view. Love you guys. Peace.